Hi, my name is Andy Dunn. I'm the co-founder and former CEO of Bonobos. I'm the co-founder of a venture capital firm called Red Swan. And now I'm the founder and CEO of Pi, which is a new app coming to you soon. I am so excited to be a part of the Mindshare Partners Leaders Go First campaign. I think it's amazing that this is happening. And I'm here to tell you today a little bit about my story, which is a very difficult journey that I've had with bipolar disorder type 1. Look, so my journey is this. I was 20 years old. I was a senior in college. I had an idyllic middle class Midwestern upbringing. And out of nowhere, boom, I had a psychotic break my senior year of college that looked like this. I had a messianic delusion. I thought I was Jesus 2.0. I had racing speech, a flight of ideas, grandiosity, lack of sleep. I spent 100 hours awake in a row. And thanks to the love of my family and friends, I got to a psychiatric ward of a hospital, incidentally, the hospital where my mom worked. And I was brought back to health through medication. And I was walking out the door, and they said, "Your diagnosis on discharge is bipolar disorder type 1." And those words hit me like a sledgehammer. I felt so ashamed. I sometimes we say someone is bipolar, so you actually equate the identity with the illness rather than someone has bipolar. We would never say someone is cancer. We say they have cancer. And yet, this is how I felt. I felt like there was something broken about me. There was something wrong. I was a liability where I could become psychotic in the future or catatonically depressed. I saw that the suicide attempt rates for bipolar 1 are 60%. The suicide rates for bipolar 1 are 19%. What 20-year-old wants to take that on? I didn't. And so we just buried it collectively, my family, my friends. It was like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. That was the idea behind our approach to bipolar, which is if we just didn't talk about it, maybe it would go away. And so I spent 16 years in denial of the fact that I have this illness, in spite of the fact that I had been diagnosed. And part of the thing about it was I actually was asymptomatic for the next 7 or 8 years. So it was lurking in the background, but it wasn't present symptomatically. And then from 2008 to 2016, I was building this company called Bonobos, a menswear e-commerce brand. I was building this company called Bonobos, a menswear e-commerce brand. And I would experience all these mood swings, but like long periods, like 100 days of what's called hypomania, which is an elevated mood state that doesn't include psychosis, but you're kind of on fire, working long hours, lots of ideas, feeling creative. Everything happens for a reason. Alternating with these terrible periods of clinical depression, 30, 60, 100 days at a time. And it was terrible because I was able to do my job from the hypomania, and then I would alternate into these states of not being able to get out of bed, scheduling naps during the day, barely getting by, not wanting to live. And then all of a sudden in 2016, boom, the mania came back. I had another psychotic episode. I spent a week at Bellevue Hospital in the psychiatric ward in New York. Same idea, messianic delusion, all the stuff we talked about on the first manic episode. Except this time when I was discharged, I was committed to my care. I was 36 years old. I had over 400 employees. I raised over 100 million in venture capital for our business. And I wanted to be better. And I walked out of the doors of the psych ward at Bellevue straight into handcuffs. And I was charged with misdemeanor and felony assault from a violence that had occurred during the psychosis. My now wife and my now mother-in-law had been trying to stop me from running naked into the streets of Greenwich Village. And so, as you might imagine, the next 6 months were quite difficult getting healthy, making sure that I got better with a great psychiatrist, great therapy and medication, making sure I got rigorous about sleep, reducing any substance use, and then figuring out how to navigate, being a person at work with neurodiversity and figuring out who I could trust, who I could talk to, and how to do all that. So I'm so excited to share more about those learnings. So here's what I've learned about how we approach mental health at work from my experience. The first thing we need is disclosure. We need leaders to go first and to say, here is my struggle. Here is what I've gone through. And it doesn't take a diagnosis to do that. You can disclose a journey with mental illness, and you can also just disclose a journey with a mental health acute crisis, whether that's losing a loved one, a terrible breakup, moving to a new place and feeling lonely, or sharing the journey of a loved one that you've been on, because when someone else is having a mental health crisis, so are you. So we need to disclose to create a safe space for everyone to share. Then we need to build community around neurodiversity. And I recommend a neurodiversity employee resource group where people can come together and share their stories. And then thirdly, we need treatment. We need to do a better job of enabling our teams to find great mental health care and to pay for it. And I think that's about offering additional corporate reimbursement for mental health care, putting our money where our mouths are, and actually investing in it. And my pitch is it's going to make us all more productive. And so it's not just good for our teams, it's good for our businesses as well. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here with you.